I'm building a library of AI employees for every department of my company: finance, legal, customer support, sales, you name it. Every area of my company is being converted into an AI employee, and it's all being built directly in the platform Cassidy AI. So let's walk through it. So you can see here, I'm actually on my assistants page here, and I have a bunch of different assistants. So I basically built an assistant for every single department in my company. So for instance, I have this HR assistant, which is connected to all of our human resources documents in Confluence and Notion. I have a technical help article writer that is trained on our brand voice and helps me write help articles for our company. I have things like LinkedIn Outreach Assistant, which I've trained on how I write my LinkedIn messages to prospects when I'm doing cold outbound messages. I have another one, which is a client call query assistant. This is basically connected to every single meeting that I have with prospects. So if I go in here and I use the client call assistant and I ask a chat, I could be like, what was the pricing we talked about in the last meeting? And since it's connected to all my meetings, I can literally ask this a question and it can pull that answer and that information. So you can see answers that this is from our meeting with Tim Cook and our meeting with Joel Shen. So it's two of the most recent meetings. But then I can also bring this assistant with me. So I'm answering questions online about customer support questions. I could just bring my sales support assistant with me. So I could just say, reply to this email, and it automatically will just answer that email for me. I don't even have to think. It knows the answer to all these questions. So let's actually break down how we go about setting up a library of AI employees. So it actually all starts first in the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is where we're actually going to train all of the AI employees on different information in our company. So right now you can see I created a bunch of different collections in here for every department inside my company. So you can just click create new collection, and then you could just create a new collection there with all that information. So for instance, I'm in the sales collection here, and I basically just connected my Confluence, my Box, my Google Drive, and a bunch of other meeting notes and recordings and folders directly into the knowledge base. So now all my sales AI employees can actually have access to all the specific sales information. It actually knows what this all means. So you can see here, I actually have two assistants in my sales folder that I created, and both of those have access to specifically the information in the sales collection. So if I wanted to create a new sales assistant specifically for outbound, I just go to the top and I click create new assistant. In this case, I'm going to do a custom setup. So I'm going to say I want a sales assistant that will look at prospects and write a custom introduction email selling them on our product. Right, so you're just kind of laying out in plain English, like, what do you want this assistant to help with? In this case, this is sort of a sales outbound, inbound assistant. It can do any of these sales tasks, but I wanted to have the full context of what we do as a company. So right now it starts designing and creating the assistant. I get asked a bunch more questions that I'm going to just fill out here. Things like, what are the specific features, any information of target audience. It's just a way to make this assistant actually more intelligent about my company. And once that's all filled out, I actually now go ahead and select what parts of our company information should this assistant actually know. So I'm going to select this sort of sales collection right here. So it has access to all the sales information, but I actually want it to also have access to all of our conversations, so just all of our meeting notes. So this assistant now will specifically be trained on two areas of our knowledge base. I now have this final result where the assistant has a name, it has instructions. I'm going to actually change the name here. So I'm going to go outbound sales assistant. So great, I've got this assistant ready to go here. And I'm actually going to take this a step further. So I'm going to actually, before I use this, I'm going to edit the assistant settings. So I'm going to configure, give it an image here. I'm going to actually change the base model to Claude 3.7 Sonnet. I like Claude models better for sales related tasks. I feel like it makes it more human, more personalized. So I always go with the Claude models when I build sales assistants. You can see here I have all these blocks of instruction. I can add more over time. Next up, I'm in this brand voice section. So I'm actually going to give it examples and throw in examples of sales emails that I've written. So it actually knows how I like to write, how I write my sales emails. So I'm going to paste those in right now. So you don't even have to format. I'm literally just copy and pasting a bunch of sales emails that I've written in the past that I like. Click Analyze Brand Voice. And just like that, it's actually going to extract the way that I write from all my previous sales emails. And you can see it actually puts this thing together. So it's professional, engaging, clear. It knows exactly how I like to write emails to customers. So now we're all set. We're going to click save and we're good to go here. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is go to external deployments, and I'm deploying this to Slack. So I want to actually be able to use this directly in Slack. I don't even want to have to necessarily think about going back to this platform. I could just do this all directly in Slack. So you can see I've actually deployed a bunch of assistants to pretty much all of my channels in Slack. So you see I've actually created an onboarding Slack channel where new employees can ask questions like, how many vacation days do I have as an employee? And it's using a different assistant to answer that question directly in there. So I've deployed our new assistant to Slack. But you can see my Slack channel is just filled with all of our AI employees. They work hand in hand with all of our real employees. So that's how simple it is to build out these new assistants that can be used for all different things. In that example, I showed the sales support one. I could use that directly in LinkedIn if I wanted to. But the next thing I want to do is actually set up a workflow so that assistant is actually writing personalized introduction emails to everybody who signs up for my product. So not some just generic email that everybody gets, make it personalized to the person who signs up. So in this example, I'm actually going to go into workflows. So the first thing I did is I set this up on a webhook so that this actually runs every time someone signs up for a product. And then I wrote this prompt where it's actually researching every single lead that comes in. So all I did was kind of go in here, go into the research block and use a research agent in this example. So this research agent basically will go online, find the person who signed up for the product, find all the information about them so that we can actually use one of our AI employees to write them a personalized introduction email. Then the next step is I'm actually going to add our assistant in here. I'm going to choose the employee that would be most relevant to what I'm trying to do here, which is write personalized introduction emails. So in this case, I'm using our sales support assistant. And then I just wrote up this prompt basically explaining how I want it to write personalized emails to people. Basically composing engaging sales emails, who it should be addressed to, incorporate a recommendation about our software that it would be relevant to that person. I gave an example of what I want the email to look like. Then I added some other blocks in there, like a path based off of the size of the company. Should it message our human sales team on Slack? And then adding that to HubSpot directly. So you can see here, if I actually have this set up and let's say Mark Benioff signs up for our product, it goes and it finds out everything about Mark online. It writes him that personalized introduction email, custom to who Mark is and what his role is. And then it adds all of that to HubSpot for me. So you can see I got that confirmation directly from HubSpot. So the thing is I'm combining the AI assistants and employees directly with workflows so they can run autonomously without me being involved. It's that kind of combination right there that really creates AI agents. So I just spent the past couple hours building out AI workflows combined with assistants for every department. So sales, recruiting, product, marketing. So I built one that generates content ideas using my different assistants where I could just put in the target audience related to who I'm reaching out to, and then using some of our marketing assistants to actually write personalized copy to. This one's a weekly AI digest, so runs every Monday at 2 a.m., goes and finds all the latest news in AI, uses one of our assistants to write a personalized newsletter to the whole company. And then one of my favorite ones is actually on our customer support team. So I'm using one of our customer support assistants to basically classify every ticket that comes in, and it automatically uses our customer support assistant to draft a response to a person who asked out, reaching out for a question. So if you're building out a library of AI employees, what I would start with is one, put together a knowledge base of all the information that you would train it on. In the same way that you're training a new employee, they need access to all the specific information about what you do in order to be effective at their job. From there, create the assistants that are customized with that knowledge, with the brand voice, with the instructions on how you want it to operate. You can deploy them to Slack, to LinkedIn, to Microsoft Outlook, wherever you want online, so they're always there for you. You can work directly with them. And then when you're ready to level up the game, you build out specific workflows where these assistants are operating autonomously based off of some event or on a schedule. But this is really where you see that full end-to-end automation that just really wasn't possible 2 years ago. I built this all out directly inside Cassidy. It's definitely the best platform for building out a suite of AI employees that actually do work for your business. Let me know down in the comments, what are the specific AI employees that you'd like to see? What do you wish was possible to automate? And we'll build those out in the next video and dive deeper into what you want to see. Thanks so much for watching.